Can you picture how a melody gets thought into existence? Rhythm section hits it and upholds it with persistence. Picturing the outline and you start.
So it's just funny to me because when I seen it, I couldn't believe what had happened. And then when they started to go deeper into this man's life, he was a Trump supporter. He fucking hated Dave Chappelle. Like, what the fuck has Dave Chappelle done to anybody other than be the funniest person you would ever want to be around? And then, silly you, if you didn't know that that man stays with an entourage, stays posted up with the best of the best, he's never by himself. So it's so funny to me that you thought that you was just gonna run up on Dave Chappelle and not get fucked up. And then, silly you run towards the ass whooping. You don't turn around and double back and say, let me go out the front door. No, you say, let me go towards the back where all his security, all his people were. Busta Rhymes, that's why he got busted the fuck up. All these people were out there, like they were waiting on you, and you made a fool of yourself, and you got your ass beat. You got your ass beat. So
Will Smith, see what you started?
Yeah.
You and Jada started?
But see, the thing is that he's lucky he didn't get his ass whooped like this dude did. He's lucky that Chris Rock never went and decided to retaliate against him. Because as a grown-ass man, anybody or a woman, anybody would have came at me and put their hands on me, it'd have been a whole misunderstanding at the motherfucking awards show. We would have been getting it like, fuck you mean? Like, no, that's not how it works. So I'm glad that he got his ass beat. They broke his arm. Yeah. That man had a fucking lump, like just somewhere about right here, just protruding out the fucking side of his, looked a hot ass mess.
Somebody had... the internet is undefeated. Somebody had a meme of him on like a Ghetto Boy album cover, looking like Bishwick Bill sitting on a gurney. I mean, it was so quick because you saw the picture and then all of a sudden you saw the meme and the Ghetto Boys.
He deserved it. I hope they make fun of his ass for the rest of his life. He deserves that shit.
Why can't people sit? I mean, if you don't want to be entertained, don't go to the show. If you don't like a certain artist, don't go to their show. Don't patronize them. Why go to the show? A comedian, I've seen a number of comedians, and I think we talked about this some time ago about how things have changed. The internet has made it very easy for people to kind of just say what they want without kind of
keyboard warriors.
Like they can get consequences or accountable for what they say. The Trump era you mentioned, about people doing things in the Trump era where they feel like they could just go and do and get in people's faces. I saw one Karen you talked about on a past show where she gets on stage and try to stop a comedian from telling jokes because she was offended. Why are you going to a comedy show if you're going to get offended, if you're all in your feelings, if you got personal issues? And so it's this kind of, I think it started with social media. You made a great point. It started with the Trump era where a lot of folks are just, they wanted to do it, but now they feel like emboldened to do it now. And so good for this dude. Now he's trying to sue because he was like, they did too much. No, I think they didn't do enough for you.
You're lucky you're still breathing and eating with your mouth and not still have your teeth. Yeah. I mean, I just don't get it. We touched on this, and this is like that whole where people think they're above, their entitlement is above an ass whooping. Like, you ain't met the right one yet. Because I stay, like I told you about this shit. I wake up choosing violence. If it has to be, I'm ready to do it. Like, fuck with me if you want to. I be waiting. I'm skating to work, just looking for shit. Like, say something. Fucking say something. I wish you would. Like, I wait for it because it's like at some point you have to know. Like my mom always taught us, you got nothing to say, don't say it. Like if I got shit to say that's beneficial, like I'm just gonna shut the fuck up. But these people nowadays feel like they could say whatever and then scream bloody murder. Before you scream, I'm punching you in your throat and you ain't gonna say shit. And that's what's gonna happen to your ass. So these people, I feel like at some point, ass whoopings need to be a thing. Like, I don't want to promote violence, and I'm gonna be this grandmother when my grandkids come to me and be like, "How should I handle this?" Beat the brakes off that bitch. Like, don't say shit. Like,
you should dedicate a day until things change, until things get better, we should dedicate a day of ass whoopings every week, like on a
Not the
Friday.
purge. Yeah, not the purge, but just people getting their ass beat. A purge of ass whoopings.
Yeah,
No
people who
killings,
just out
just
of
ass
pocket.
whooping.
Yeah, people who just
Yeah.
out of pocket, just line them up on a Friday and like televise it. Like Charlie Murphy used to say, bring your boys to watch and just get ass whipping.
Ass whooping. I would be the first to, you want to be a part of this experiment? The fuck I do. Sign me up. What are we, I gotta wear contacts? I'll put the motherfuckers in. You want to follow me? Let's go. Like, I would go looking for shit. Let's do this. Because I just feel like nowadays there's no respect in these anybody
No
that
respect, no accountability.
there's no accountability. And then the things you say, like you can say the wildest things and think that that's okay and you can get away from, like you can get away with it by screaming lies. Like I've seen women who will, there was a, today, if I'm not mistaken, I was looking at an article or a video. I think it was on TikTok. I was looking at a video on TikTok where this man had rented a Airbnb, and he's in the house with his family. They're chilling, and this white couple just walks in. Don't knock. They don't knock. They just walk in. Okay, and he's like, "What are you guys doing here?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know you. You know, why are you guys in here?" The fuck is it your business? Oh, well, this house usually is empty. Okay, well, and he starts to explain to them, well, this is an Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to explain himself, which one? I don't owe you a fudging thing. If you felt some type of way, call the cops on me. I can provide them with paperwork. We ain't gotta say less. But the fact that you have enough balls and audacity to walk into some private place and then just say, well, I don't trust you. I don't trust this. I don't know why you guys are here. And he's like, why, ma'am? It's because I'm Black. And she's like, no, get over it. It has nothing to do with that. And he's like, okay, so what else would make you come in here? He's like, now I feel a certain type of way. Now you got me feeling somewhat, because who does that? And she's like, well, I know the owner. And he was like, okay, so do you know what the owner does with this house? And she goes, no, he didn't tell me. He's, mind your
None of your
business.
business. That's why.
Right.
Tell you.
So then he calls his uncle, and once he was like, hey, unc, blah, 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 the uncle starts to come out, and then they start to leave. Keep that same energy. Like, the fuck, you run up in someone's house, keep that same energy that they're gonna do, you know, like, be prepared for the repercussions that are gonna happen. Like I said, the easiest way to do, if you don't trust somebody, you feel some unsafe or you feel some type of way, and call the cops. But it is not your job. You are not the judge, jury, the police. You don't have a badge. Sit your ass in your crib and do what people used to do back in the days and snitch on the phone. Call the law.
But see how disillusion can make you act a certain way, give you entitlement to certain things, make you think that you are what you're not. It gets dangerous. So
It does.
you know,
It's crazy. And to me, I put me in that position, please. Like, please. Just let me have a moment. Let me be there. Like, this shit don't happen to me. I'm waiting for it.
We need to get you some martial arts class.
Please pause. No. When did minding other people's business pay you any mind?
That's been a culture that's been there for centuries for certain folks, and that's another discussion for another time.
Yeah, but yeah, so
all over the world, minding other people's business. Chantel, I had the opportunity to listen to Kendrick Lamar's new album. And I text you, I'm sorry if I woke you up and text you last night, but I was like,
that's what that was. I was so confused.
This dude is his album is Mr. Moral and the Big Steppers.
Yes.
And if this is where hip hop is going, these mumble rappers, y'all are in trouble. So it kind of reminded me of what Kanye was trying to do, but Kanye's project did not make sense. Kendrick is putting poetry to music and his feelings and taking it to a whole nother level. So you're not going to hear, unless he does remixes, the club bangers and things of that sort. But one of my favorite songs is Savior, which you spoke about earlier about I'm Not Your Savior. That he addresses certain things and what people want him to be and what he actually is.
Exactly.
But this guy is putting poetry to beats, and it's not like your regular rap songs. It's something above that. To me, I want to call it a spoken word album.
Yes.
Because his poetry and his thoughts are on the next level. And when I was listening to it, and I'm like, man, if people can raise their consciousness and listen to what this young brother is saying, they're going to move hip hop from this criminal element in the industry to more conscious back in the 90s, where you had the Public Enemy, you had
Nas.
One, you had Nas and all this stuff. If it gets to that level, you know, it's going to reach the people. And to me, it's like, it's unfortunate we don't have enough hip hop artists like Kendrick Lamar, like J. Cole, who can raise the consciousness of young people the way he's doing it in this album. I don't know if you listen to it, but you can say whatever you want.
I for the most part, I'm not finished. I started with part 1, but I've always loved Kendrick. I just always felt like Kendrick is one of those people that surpasses, especially for the woke generation that's also woke, because I was looking at a lot of the reviews and it was so on both ends. Like a lot of people were like, oh, I was expecting more, but then you're not really listening. You're not as woke as you think you are, because his cadence, his bars, the music choice, the lyrics, the everything about how he created this was well worth the 4-year wait for me. But that's been with every single album he has. I felt that, you know, he always makes the buzz that he's supposed to. Like, no matter, he's one of those people that he doesn't have to make an album every year to be consistent and to be heard. He can go years without making something and then come back, and just like there's one of the the songs that I was telling you about, and I know you probably heard it, where he mentions the word faggot and he says it multiple times on purpose. Or the video that he came out with where he is changing faces. And if you look at that video and really look at what he's doing, it's not an ode to Kanye. I mean, to Nipsey, to everybody he had. It was the fact that he was talking about being distracted. They were distracting you. You were being distracted. You're goofy if you don't think that there was something behind this. And then Nipsey was the ode to Nipsey was that this is a real dude that was trying to do real things, and quicker than day they took him out. Mm-hmm. So look beyond just the normalcy of what you think he's saying and kind of go over that. But that, when I seen that, I had to look at it again to kind of really understand, like, everybody he was picking was controversy, and Kanye was controversy, and it was all to take you away from the bigger things that were happening at the moment in the world. So I just think he's a fucking genius, man. And he's like you said, it's poetry at its finest. And this is what makes me love rap and love hip hop the way that I do. Because when you feel something in a music, when it takes you through a journey, whether it be spiritual, whether it be just mental, whether it's just what's going on in the world right now, it's kind of what I felt with part 1, was just like my feelings were everywhere with it. And I love the ride that he took me on. And I'm happy to hear him again. So, I mean, I hope that people really do, he had Kodak Black, he had Ghostface Killah, he had Amanda, he had Sam Dew, Beth Gibbons. He had so many people on this album, and it just speaks volumes. And I really do think that people need to, and also not only that, but he had the hip hop elite. He had Boy One Day, Soundwave, The Alchemist, DJ Khaled, Pharrell, like the list goes on and on of the people that he did. So he took time to really craft this art and this masterpiece that he created and bring it out. Like, he just didn't do something just appease the people. He did it and said, I'm gonna do something, but I'm gonna talk about this shit and you're all gonna hear me. Like, I'm gonna say what I have to say and then be heard. So hats off to him. Like, I love me Kendrick. I really do. And I'm happy about it.
One of the things that impressed me about the project he did was that you can tell when some artists don't have control of their projects, and so they're doing anything that may appease the public, and you can tell, I got control of this and I'm putting out what I want to put out. regardless of what the record label wants or all that. And like I said, if you're looking for the club bangers and all that,
It's not that.
it's not that. It's not that.
Not at
It's the
all.
real hip hop heads who love spoken word and poetry and love things that make sense. Like I said, when I
Yeah.
listened to it, I immediately thought about Kanye West and what he was trying to do. And like Kanye missed the mark. He totally missed the mark. And this guy got it. Even though Kanye is, I would think he's a musical genius. He
A
missed the mark.
musical producer.
Producer, and he missed the mark. It's like he did not know how to say it to put it in a spoken word and put it in a way where people will receive it well.
He lost touch with reality.
Yes.
I think Kanye West. He lost touch with that.
And Kendrick Lamar has the finger on the pulse.
Yeah. And there's still that little hood in him where he was like, where he talks about how Kanye and Drake have beef and then they settled it. And he's like, where was I? Like, I'm confused. Like, I guess I haven't matured. I was like, man, me neither. We're the same, Kendrick. Like, I get it. Fuck me over once, we never talking again. Like, kiss that shit go by. Like, thank you for, so it's just a little bit of everything for everybody. But
yeah, salute, sir. Salute.
Yeah,
that I mean, like I said, if the mumble rap, if rap is to elevate, this guy is on the cutting edge of it. And if people get conscious and start listening to this, what's out now, the stuff that's out now, y'all are in trouble.
But it's touching the masses. It is. And you're noticing, like J. Cole said, like half these dudes in the industry that ain't on shit, just mumble rapping. Beats sound good, whatever. They're not, it's not longevity.
Mm-mm.
It's for the now. So the money's for the now. The things are for, like you said, everybody, what did J. Cole say? He said in then one song where he was like, yeah, you're great now, but then wait a couple years and your ass is gonna be on that show. The what's that hip hop show? That where all the like the rappers that don't rap no more, that ain't got nothing to say no more. They're on that show, Loving Hip Hop.
Loving Hip Hop. Where are they now? Loving Hip Hop.
Yeah, Loving Hip Hop. He's like, you're gonna catch yourself on Loving Hip Hop, basically saying like, we already see where you're headed. So we know you for what you are. Like half these people either are gonna end up, because this generation of rappers that have nothing to say usually end up telling on themselves, going to jail, dying for some type of drug overdose, or they end up spending all that money so quick because that's what the record label wants you to do, be the little puppet, and then before you know it, you're a has-been and you have no money, and then you're broke.
So I'm going to give you an analogy. Those of you who haven't listened to it, this is what I thought of when I was listening to the project. It's a cross between Gil Scott-Heron and Childish Gambino.
I love Childish Gambino.
So the last project Childish Gambino did and Gil Scott-Heron. So when you listen to this 10, 20, 30 years from now, you'll get a picture of what's happening, how he feels when he talks about his auntie, when he talks about all these things that he's going through. Like Savior, if you listen to Savior, he's just giving it to you. I'm not the savior. I'm not this person you think I am, or what you want me to be. Here's who I am. Here's where I came from. And so that's when the two projects I thought about, or the three, Kanye West, the Mr. Mark, but Childish Gambino, and then I thought of Gil Scott-Heron when I thought about this.
That's a great analogy. I like that. Yeah. That's some beautiful Black love, and I love Papoose, and I love Remi Ma, and they're celebrating 14 years of marriage.
I had no idea.
I thought that was what you mean?
I had no idea they were married that long.
Yes, he was with her from right before she was starting to get on to when she went to jail. He held her down throughout that whole time she did her bid. He then crafted her to be a better rapper than he is. Like, people sleep on Papoose. I think he's the most underrated rapper ever. He's always been a slept on rapper. I feel though he made it to where it wasn't about him, never. It was always about her. So he built her up because he knew what she was capable of and the star that she really was. He's seen her potential. That's that love. Like, that is what you want. You want somebody to build you, to see what you don't see, to wait for you to be there. And it's always like, if you ever see them together, it's the love that he has for her. It's the admiration that he shows her. It's this beauty in watching him love her unconditionally. And so even though he knows he can rap and he's an amazing rapper and he's been slept on because he stopped rapping when she went. He didn't keep doing it. Like, and that's the crazy part about it is that even now he's still around and people know of him, but he's built her up to be this queen that she is and to be able to keep her to reach her full potential. So I wanted to shout that out because I thought that was some positive just affirmation of what true love is and what people don't know what marriage consists of or what being together consists of. It's work. 14 years is 14 years. That's a long time to be with somebody. That's a decade in to be with somebody. So I'm sure it wasn't always fucking roses with them. I'm sure he went through shit. She went through shit, you know, so yes, the next verse is the Onyx and Cypress Hill.
All right. So my question to you, Shantel, is the only record I remember from Onyx is Slam. Let
the boys be boys. Yeah.
So I imagine, Cypress Hill put the sets in the air and they're gonna be doing all these songs, and then after every song, I don't remember any Onyx songs. So why are they doing this?
And remember, we were talking about this yesterday. I was trying to find that song because remember there was that song. Well, you don't remember. That was the problem. There was a song called "Tap the Bottle and Twist the Cap," and I remember that it was in the '90s. It was a '90s song. I don't know if it was from them though. So I'm gonna look it up right now while we're talking because I want to know what their catalog is. Like, I don't remember.
I just heard a one hit, and it wasn't like a number one hit. It was like, you saw them jumping around on a video.
Oh, Shut 'Em Down. You don't remember Shut 'Em Down, Shut 'Em Down, Shut 'Em Down, Shut 'Em Down.
That's not I mean.
I'm like, That's all I got.
If you got a catalog, you got to have a catalog at least 10 to 15 songs that folks go, yeah, they don't have, to me, they don't have that.
Because on Spotify, I see a good amount of music here that they had. Looking at some of these, I remember Fight the Power. I remember Slam. I remember there was another one that I just seen that I remember, like, it wasn't Lyrical Boxing, Stick and Move. And I'm still trying to find the other song. Who sang that damn song?
If you look at Cypress Hill, every album, they came out with something, and most of the records was about smoking weed or something, but they were bangers. Are they trying to build an East Coast, West Coast kind of verses where
maybe it could be possibly, but I think that was like a horrible like two groups to put together because Cypress Hill ran the '90s. Cypress Hill, they have hits amongst hits. It's like
it's gonna remind me, it's gonna remind me of the verses between the Lox and Dipset. Dipset did not. It's like, what are y'all doing on the stage?
But everybody knew that Dipset didn't have shit. Everybody knew when that shit was gonna happen, what was gonna happen. I don't think people were contemplating that Jadakiss was gonna. I think a lot of people slept on Jadakiss and forgot who he was, and I think he just reminded people in that time who he was. But I really think that Dipset was that commercial artist that people used to like to listen to that didn't really have bars because none of them people in that group could really rap. Not good. Not to stand toe to toe with Styles P or with Jadakiss. I forgot the other dude's name, but like not to go toe to toe. So it was basically like an ass whooping. Like, I hope you guys know we're gonna pay you for this, right? But
that was horrible.
That was horrible. This is gonna boost your career.
I enjoyed Jadakiss in a lot, and it was like Jadakiss kept saying, "What are we doing here? What are we doing here?" It's like this doesn't make sense. Why you put this up there like this? And so I'm trying to figure out where they're gonna do it, because if they do it on the West Coast, maybe in New York, that Onyx and people listen to Onyx. I'm from the East Coast, tri-state area, and I just did not feel Onyx.
I did. I liked them. They were the gutter. They were gutter boys.
They
to
were
me.
gutter.
Like, they had that gutter, like that grimy hip hop, like that. But that was back then. That's what everybody back then. That's what it was. So like for me, I used to like Onyx. I just don't remember a lot of their songs. I'm gonna go through them. I'm gonna go through them and see which ones I actually like again, just before this versus takes place. But really, I can't ever get over the fact that dude was from Moesha, and like that's how I see him. He was
and
the
Coach
boy from
Carter.
Moesha. And Coach, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was fine back then, but I'm just saying, like, I can't think of him as anybody like rough no more. He's still 5'2". Like, you ain't changed since 1990. Like, Dito, like, when are they gonna put him on a pedestal to stand up? Like, poor
I'm
guy.
not trying to diss Onyx. I respect the group, but I just don't remember. Like, if I was putting together a playlist, Onyx is not the first group I'm thinking of, and I'm not putting Slam on the playlist because I don't want to hear it. I heard it enough when it came out. It's not like Slam would come up and like, oh yeah. No, I would turn the radio, and not because I didn't like the record. They killed that record when it came out. They killed it.
Yeah.
Slam was the only record I remember. Cypress Hill, they're on the playlist. You know,
Yeah.
from the first album to the last album they've done, everything they on the playlist. Even the record Ice Cube stole from them.
Yes.
It is on the playlist. I don't even have that on my playlist from Ice Cube. But Cypress Hill, I mean,
yeah, that was what they were very dominant in that era, in that time frame. And so of course, and relatable, and they would sell out shows, and it was just everything about them was that cool, laid back, very chill East vibe where all they did was smoke and chill, and the music was bomb. Like, it was bomb.
Yeah. So if somebody said, "Hey, I got some Onyx tickets," nah, that's all right.
Cypress Hill tickets? I still go.
Oh, you got Cypress Hill tickets? Because I know there's going to be the element there. I'm going to have a good time, and I know what they expect in Cypress Hill. You know, I know there's some jams there. Onyx, nah, that's all right. Yeah. No disrespect, as Riley on the Boondocks would say.
I mean, I like them both. I just think this is like a setup to fail. This is another like Jadakiss versus the Dipset. Like, you setting them up to fail. Like, this ain't gonna boost the catalog. Like, this ain't gonna be like, oh my God, I gotta listen to them tomorrow. Like, no, it's just gonna be like, oh, this is so sad.
I imagine Jadakiss catalog. I mean, people were like, oh, I gotta buy.
Yeah,
it was like,
I feel like it. Yeah, for sure. I feel like it legit reminded people of the bars that this, and it's all off the top. Like, he's still so humble, still in his own hood, still like he is one of those rappers that didn't ever sell his soul to become more, and it's still known, still going strong to this day.